Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are in the basement and it's time that we move forward on this countertop. Yes, we are going to be installing the countertop. It's supposed to be delivered tomorrow, and the reason why I am recording this today is because it's extremely cold outside in New York City. Right now it is 27 degrees. And tomorrow, which is Monday, is supposed to be 18 to 30. So it's gonna be really cold, and I don't wanna spend a lot of time outside speaking to the camera and saying the steps that I'm taking, because I just wanna bring in the delivery and set it up and cut it. I'm just gonna put the camera and cut everything up. I'm just gonna take this opportunity to tell you exactly the steps that I'm going to be taking. The first one is taking in the delivery. It's gonna be dropped off and I'm gonna haul it into the backyard. The reason I'm gonna be bringing it in through the backyard is because it doesn't fit going down the stairs. It is a piece that is 10 by 25. So there's no ways coming down those stairs or making all these turns and stuff. I'm gonna bring it in through the backyard, lay it across some garbage cans, and then I'm going to put the template, which is here. I'll leave the link to that video on the top right corner if you guys are interested in seeing how I made that template. But I'm gonna be putting it on top and then marking it up. As soon as I finish marking it up, making sure everything is right, I'm going to take my circular saw and cut that piece. Take that piece and then shove it in its place. Put it there where it belongs and where it has to be. And pretty much when it's in the basement, I could pick up the camera again and start speaking to you and letting you know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it like that. But yeah, it's really cold outside, so it's gonna be different the way that I'm gonna be recording this video, at least while I'm outside. I have the wood top in and it's pretty much done. Just a couple of other things that we have to do. Let me show you guys where I messed up. Just one slight mistake over here, as you can see, if you can see, it's flat against this side, But over here, we are off about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little bit more than 1/8. So, yeah. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Worst case scenario, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna push this over, and then it's just gonna show a little bit here, which the camera can't really pick up, which is good. Let me see if you can see like that. Yeah, you can see a little bit like that, but that's not too big of a deal. And now we're flat on this side. But as you can see, using the template makes everything much easier. The only thing is that it was cold outside and it made it a little bit difficult to do the cutting. My hands were freezing while I was doing that, but yeah, this is done. This is ready and it's in. There's only a couple of more steps left, which is we need to seal this because it's gonna be in the basement. We are gonna be working on top of this. Water will be getting on this. Paint will be getting on this, a whole bunch of other things. And if we leave it the way that it is, it's going to suck up whatever falls on it and it's gonna look old quick. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be sealing it. And we're going to be using some water-based polyurethane. We're going to be doing 3 coats on the top, 2 on the bottom. It's just for when the wood expands and contracts. If they're both sealed, they're both gonna react the same way. If you do the top and not the bottom is gonna expand more and you're gonna get this like a U shape. So that's why we're gonna be doing the both sides. So we're gonna be using this. And since I do not like using a brush, I'm gonna be using a foam roll and tack cloth. The tack cloth is to get as much of the dirt off the top, the dust and everything off of it. And yeah, and we're between coats, we're gonna be using some 220 grit sandpaper just to scuff it up just a little bit so that all the coats seal up perfect. I ordered 2. I don't know if I'm gonna use all of it or if I'm gonna need more of it. Like I said, this is the first time I'm doing this, so I don't know how this is gonna happen. So I'm going to be using my pack out and the garbage can to first flip this over, get on top of that, and I'm able to do the bottom first. I have to protect the floor just because I don't want to get any of this stuff on the floor, even though you guys know I hate this floor. I don't like the way it came out, but that's another topic for another day. So I'm gonna protect this floor. I'll do that off camera because you guys have seen me do that before. So yeah, let's flip this over and get this staining done. So now I'm gonna wait for 2 hours for this to cure or dry, whichever one it is. And then I'm going to sand it just a little bit, just pass it, just scuff it up. And then do another pass with another coat of polyurethane, which is the second coat on this side. Wait 2 hours more, and then I'm gonna flip it and then repeat the same steps all over on the bottom side, which is the top. So I'm gonna be doing 3 coats on there. I'm just gonna repeat that 3 more times. So yeah. we are pretty much done with putting all the coats on the countertop. Just gotta let this last coat dry. And to be transparent, I did not do 3 coats. I did about 8. And the reason why I did about 8 is because, to be honest, I had the material and I just thought, screw it, let's just do a whole bunch of coats. I have the time because I had to wait for something to come in the mail, which I'm going to show you now what I had to do. So I said, let me just keep putting a whole bunch of coats just so that we have a very good amount of coverage. So we got that. We got to let that dry. And while that's drying or curing, I don't even know what it is, but while we let that dry, let me show you what we're going to be working on. But before we start doing the other thing, let me just show you this. This is how I am screwing in this countertop. I'm going to be moving this over, putting it on top. And I'm going to be drilling a hole through the bottom here and then putting a screw to hold it in place. I'm not going to be gluing it because it is a piece of wood and it's going to be expanding and contracting. I'm going to be putting it in place with the screws and letting it move how it freely wants to be moved. And I'm also going to be putting some clear silicone around the back edge and on this edge over here, so that if water ever falls on top, it won't get behind and it won't, you know, rot the wood from the back. So yeah, the next goal and what I was waiting for in the mail is this bracket, because I want to put a bracket in the middle because from here to here is about 4 feet and that's too much space to not have any support in the middle. So I found this stud here and I'm going to be installing this right around there. But I don't want to only depend on the stud, which is a metal stud. I'm going to be taking off this access door that's here and putting some wood from the back so that we could also depend on the wood and not just that stud. If you guys saw the beginning of the series, I have wood in this wall, but it stops right around here, which is 4 feet. If I could redo this, I will make the wood maybe about 6 feet, which is around down here, or all the way to the bottom. Because I didn't bring the wood to the bottom, this is gonna be a bit of a pain to mount on this wall because the stud is not that thick and I have to put wood from behind. If you guys don't have that access door like I do, you will have to depend on the stud inside the wall to hold this. So if you guys are going to be doing this like I did from scratch, knocking down all the walls and everything, I recommend that when you put plywood inside the wall, bring it all the way to the bottom, just so that you could screw this in, the cabinets in, and things like this bracket in on the lower part. So just have that in mind. So let's start taking this access door out and getting that wood back there. All right, check out what I just finished doing. We got the bracket in, and if you look at both sides, well, I'll point.
Over here on this side, this is the metal stud. So I got this screw to be screwed in to the metal stud, and over here I got it to screw in to the 2x4. I got this one also to get into the 2x4, and this one over here kind of missed. It just hit sheetrock because there is a piece of stud here that supports this stud from moving back and forth. So I'm happy I have that support there in the back that supports the stud from going back and forth, so it can help this from not cantilevering so much. But yeah, this thing is solid and it's in place. Also put the level here so you can see that we are level if there's any doubts, because I did have my doubts too. And we got this in. We got a little bit of sins here, but no one's gonna see that once we put the countertop in. All that's left is to let this finally dry 100%, and then we could put this in place, drill some pilot holes from the bottom, and screw this in through these holes. There's 4 of them on each cabinet, and it will be there permanently. And then, you know, taking this silicone and putting it right through the top, all the way around. So that's what we're gonna be doing in the next scene. Just gotta let this dry first. We have officially gotten the wood top in. It's 100% done. We have the support in the bottom, right in the middle. We have the silicone to stop any water from going behind, especially in this area, because this is where the sink is gonna go. We also put the screws in over here, but as you guys see, it's not the best hardware, because all I used was the kerg jig screws, 1.25 inch. If in the future I see that this is moving too much, which is not now, I'll change it to something stronger, but literally this is the only hardware I have that will work for this situation, and I really want to get this done, and that is why I use that hardware. But it came out really good. It was scary buying a piece of wood that cost almost $1,000. It was like $800 and something. But as long as you do the template, it comes out perfect. Just like I showed you guys earlier in the video. Here it was short by, I don't know, maybe a 1/16 of an inch, an 1/8 of an inch maybe. And all I did was I split it. So if it, let's just say it's an 1/8 of an inch, I split it and made this a 1/16 of an inch, and then a 1/16 of an inch on this side. So I don't know if you guys could see that, but it's out by a 1/16 of an inch. But we don't have to play perfect. No one's really gonna see that, but it came out really, really good. I'm really happy with how it came out, and I'm happy that I went out. Oh wait, I'm gonna have to put a little bit of more caulk there. But I'm really happy that I went and ordered this, because we do need the support here. There's a lot of space there, and it's good that we have that there. So I'm happy with how it came out. Really happy with how it came out. Especially how the stone came. It was bare, and then I put the finish on it. And just so you guys see,
I used most of it, and I only used 1 can. So if you are going to be doing this, you only need 1 can. I'm going to save that because I might use it for a future project. Also, the other piece that is here, right here, I'm going to save that for a future project, and I'll show you that as this basement project progresses. But I put 8 layers of the polyurethane on top of this, and it came out really, really smooth. This is my first time doing that. I've never put a finish on a unfinished piece of wood, and I'm really happy with how it came out. You do need a lot of patience and time for that because it's 8 layers, so 2 hours between each. 8 by times 2, that's 16 hours of work here. So it is what it is, but it came out great. But before I let you go, I want to show you what we're going to be doing on the next video, and it's the backsplash. And the backsplash is going to be this right here, which is this wall control. We're going to be putting it on the wall like so. So it's going to cover all those sins that I have. For example, right here, I peeled off some paint, but it doesn't really matter because this is going to go on the wall just like that. And it's going to go all throughout. It's going to be under the cabinet, and it's also going to be going up to the ceiling. And as you can see, this one is taller than the cabinet, so we're going to have to cut this. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, consider subscribing and searching for that next video. So yeah, the wood is in, and I'm really happy with how this basement is coming together. Some would say that this basement is officially done, but we still got a couple of things to do, especially with the sink that has to go in, the backsplash, hanging all the tools on the backsplash. We still have a lot to do, but it's getting really exciting, and it's good to see this place wrapping up and looking the way that it looks. So if you learned something new, you can show me by giving me a like. Any comments or questions, leave it in the comments down below. I answer every single one of the questions that are down there. I actually do take time out and answer them. So if you do have questions, leave it down there. I'll be sure to answer them. And if you want to see the rest of this basement come to an end, you want to see this backsplash go in, consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Thanks.